Hey guys, I know some of y'all were asking, patiently waiting for us to pop on our live here on Friday night. So I'm probably going to be looking back and forth, as you know, every Friday night at 9 on Facebook and TikTok. It's y'all get to see me, the Blue Bodie, and Aunt Pam, the Dream Walker. And if you guys missed us last week, okay, Facebook is doing something weird. Cool. Okay. If y'all missed us last week on Facebook, we have already turned this into a podcast. Y'all can go and listen. It's on the Blue Bodie, and Aunt Pam will be sharing it shortly. And yes, so tonight we're filming our second episode of Spirituology 101, and we'll be talking about astral travel, lucid dreaming, and starseeds. So after that, that'll be the first hour, and the second hour we'll be answering questions over whatever y'all want to ask questions about. So, yeah. I guess we'll start off with, how is everybody this evening? I see we've got some people popping on TikTok, and I see a couple of y'all on Facebook. So, we're just going to kind of get into it with astral travel. We're just going to hit that big one first. We're going to hit the biggest one first. So, I will be paying attention to comments on both TikTok and Facebook. So if you guys have questions about what we're talking about, feel free to answer. Feel free to answer them for yourself. Feel free to ask questions. It's been a long week, y'all. It's been a long week. So yeah, feel free to ask, and we will chat. We'll answer it. So anyway, let's talk about astral travel. Because I know it is a crazy hot topic on TikTok, on the internet, Facebook, etc. Mainly TikTok. Some of y'all be doing some shit you don't even be doing. But oh, Jody said her screen froze on Facebook. Yeah, of course it's gonna do that. So if y'all are watching on Facebook or TikTok, like I said, we dual live. So if one is kind of being an ass, you can always hit the other one. But astral travel. I promise we'll get there. So, for those of you guys that have never astral traveled before, and you're seeing all the stuff online about how cool it is, and you just want to do it because it's cool on TikTok or whatever, let me tell you right now that it's not something you want to do just because it's cool. Astral travel is done for serious reasons. It's done to find out information. It's done to move you along spiritually. It's done for personal reasons. Sometimes there's things that you can't figure out that you need help with. This is also a good way to get in touch with some spirit guides, your higher self, things like that. But it's not what I would quite recommend for those things. So before you start trying to astral travel, the reason that we combine this with lucid dreaming, and we probably should talk about lucid dreaming first, I guess. Yeah? Pam's like, eh. So I'm gonna kind of backtrack myself. Hey, Summer. We're gonna talk about lucid dreaming first, because I just had a couple conversations over the last week or so with somebody about astral travel, and one of the first things that I mentioned to them, or I asked them, is, do you meditate? Do you lucid dream? Like, those are the two things I ask first. Here's why. If you can meditate, and you can do this for any length of time, even if it's 5-10 minutes, but you can completely quiet your mind and calm all the bullshit that yells at you. If you can completely quiet your mind, then you're ready to astral travel. If you can lucid dream, and you can do it consistently, and you can control things consistently, not just, oh my God, I managed to fly, or oh my God, I managed to go here. Consistently do this. You're ready to try to astral travel. If you have never lucid dreamed, if you have never meditated, first of all, I would say start meditating, because that right there is going to be the key to lucid dreaming and to astral travel. Meditation is hard, guys. You're not going to just sit down and instantly do it. It takes some people years. It takes some people just a few months. Don't try to compare yourself to other people, okay? Everybody's brain works differently.
And as far as that goes, lucid dreaming, I've been able to lucid dream my entire life. I didn't know really there was any other way to dream for me. But I'm a lot different than anyone else as far as that goes. I've been able to control my dreams, travel in dreams, go to other people's dreams my entire life. So, once you can control that, then really you're not that far to be able to astral travel. But lucid dreaming, you can teach yourself very easily. The most important thing about lucid dreaming is knowing, you can't just wake up the next morning and go, oh my God, I was flying, or I went to outer space, or I did this. That's just a crazy dream. Lucid dreaming is when you are conscious of the fact that you are in that dream at that moment. You can control what you're doing. You can control how the dream goes. If the dream is, you may not be in a lucid dream, 24/7 of your sleep cycle, but you have to realize that if something is going askew in your dream and it's starting to turn terrifying or scary, then you know that you are able to stop that, control that, get everything back in order, and the dream carry on. You have to be lucid in that moment to understand that. If you're doing really wonderful, fantastical things, but you don't realize it until you've woken up the next morning, that's not lucid dreaming. You need to be totally aware in that moment, in that dream, that I am in a dream. This is not going how I planned it, and I'm going to change it.
Right. So somebody on TikTok said, I can't even remember words. I can't even remember my dreams. So I'm glad that you put that on there, because that was the next thing I was going to talk about, is about how to train your brain to know you're dreaming. The thing with remembering your dreams, and here's what you want to start doing yesterday, okay? And it sounds great in theory, but it's hard to put into practice, okay? You want to start as soon as you wake up, writing down anything at all you remember from your dream. Whether it's just a color, or whether you wake up and you want sausage, or whether you want to go to a museum and see a certain painting. You know what I mean? Like, even if it's just a feeling, like you woke up and you're angry as shit and you don't know why. Write that down. Even write down angry as shit, but write that down, because this makes your brain think, oh shit, she's going to pop quiz me in the morning. I probably need to remember a little more. It forces your brain to make itself remember. I keep like a notepad on my phone, like the Notepad app. I keep it right there on my home screen. I also keep a notebook beside my bed just in case. So, and I will scribble something really quickly. So start doing that ASAP. That will help you tremendously in starting to remember your dreams. It will also allow you to look for patterns and to see things that are emerging. For those of you guys that have prophetic dreams, or you're not sure if you do, this will help you there too. So when it comes to lucid dreaming, there's a way to train yourself to lucid dream. I'm going to start off by saying it's a pain in the ass. It's a pain in the ass. If you cannot lucid dream, if you've never lucid dreamed, training your brain to do it is hard, and it takes dedication. It's not something that you're going to be able to just do for one day and then bam, you can lucid dream. No. So here's what you do. This will take your phone. It will take a rubber band or something weird that you would never ever wear on your wrist. You need to put this thing on. So say I'm going to use this big Super 7 bracelet I've got here, okay? Say I don't ever wear it. I'm going to put it on. It's rubber bandy, so I can snap it, right? I'm going to set an alarm on my phone to beep every hour on the hour, 24 hours a day. Told you to begin with, this is a pain in the ass. But every hour when that goes off, you reach down and you touch that bracelet and you kind of flip it a little bit. So you know, okay, this is real. Pop it to your wrist. So this is where rubber band comes in handy too, because you pop it to your wrist. Every hour. The first night or two, you probably are going to miss some alarms waking up, okay? but just hear it. You know what I mean? Like leave your phone next to your head or whatever. Reach down and pop that bracelet. Okay. You want to do this for 3 or 4 days straight. That 4th day, you take the bracelet or the rubber band off when you're going to bed. Okay? Because when you hear that alarm go off, you reach down and pop that and it's not there and you're dreaming, your mind is instantly going to shift into lucid dreaming. For me, I personally I did the rubber band and I left it on. And it took about, I want to say the 5th or 6th night of popping that every hour on the hour. I got to where, okay, I know it's there. And my brain would wake up every hour and pop that bracelet. And I had this really weird ass dream where I'm in this broke down house. There's this humongous demon thing in front of me. Like, I won't go into details. It was crazy. But I hear that beep, 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 beep go off in my head. And I look down on my wrist and I don't have anything on. And I mean, y'all can't see on the podcast, but y'all see I wear a lot of shit, okay? So I look down and my wrist is bare and instantly my mind goes, I'm dreaming, but I didn't wake up. So I look at the demon thing and I flat told it. I was like, I'm dreaming and you're not real, bitch. And after that, I mean, it was on. Like, I completely flailed this thing. And it was an amazing feeling. Like, I woke up afterwards and I was like, oh my God, like I was so excited I did it. So from then.
But don't be shocked if you're trying this and as soon as you realize you're dreaming, you wake up.
Yeah, that will happen.
It might take a few times. Sometimes people can go straight into it and sometimes people need that extra time for that.
Yeah. So don't get discouraged, guys. Okay, keep at it. It is a process. I've coached a lot of people through it, and I've had people that it's taken them a month. So don't beat yourself up if you don't get it the first night, because I guarantee you're not going to get it the first night. But like I said, it's a process. It's a process. So be prepared for that commitment. When it comes to actual lucid dreaming, once you're able to lucid dream, give yourself permission to play, to goof off, to like do crazy weird shit. Do it. Like, get that out of your system first. And that's personally what I'd recommend. Get it out of your system first.
Personally, I recommend don't like try to pick up a building and move it or fly halfway across the country with, the state of Texas on your back. Don't try to do anything absolutely, but by all means, if you're like, I wonder what it looks like to be up by the moon.
Yeah.
Or to fly.
Yep.
Do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Do it. Do the things you've always wanted to do. Then is when you want to start working on things. Talking to your spirit guides. Talking to spirits in general. Visiting other places you've never been. You know what I mean? Like Pam said, moon, planets, etc. Start doing that. But kind of ease yourself into some of the harder things. Make sure that you're controlling things correctly. It does take a little bit to learn to control things correctly.
Let me jump in with this. We're assuming that you guys already know that you should have protected yourself before you even went to sleep. Okay, because things can travel with you wherever you go, and things can travel back with you wherever you go. So you need to know that you've protected yourself and put barriers up to where you're protected, that nothing, and you say nothing can come through with me except for my higher power, my deities, my spirit guides, my guardian angels. And nothing can come back with me but those same beings. Nothing can communicate, nothing, because they want to piggyback. Things from the ether world want to piggyback on, it's an easy way in, and they will wreak havoc on your life. So we're assuming that you guys know that you need to protect yourself before you do something like that.
Yeah. And so here's the thing. I saw somebody say they don't know how to protect themselves. So there's a lot of different things you can do. I actually grabbed a bunch of different stones that I personally keep either beside my bed or pretty close to it. If I know I'm going to be trying to lucid dream or travel in my sleep or anything like that, there's a few stones that I I won't do it unless I have them with me. So the first one, a big old hunk of black tourmaline I've got here. This one sits in my living room, but if I know I'm going to be traveling or I'm going to be lucid dreaming, yeah, black tourmaline is my go-to. I wear a bracelet of tourmalated quartz, not to bed, but yeah, I love black tourmaline. Any black stone is protective. So obsidian, jet is a wonderful one. Apache tears is another amazing one because it will ground you as well. Rainbow obsidian is a good one. Snowflake obsidian. There's a whole bunch of them. Black spinel. I have a ring of it. Black spinel is formed with diamonds. What's funny is it's an amazingly powerful protectant, and it literally mirrors back negativity, but yeah, most people don't know about it. So yeah, black spinel, guys, it's fabulous, and it's pretty cheap. So if there's a certain black stone you're drawn to, look it up. There's a reason you're drawn to it. But any kind of black stone you want to have there. Here's the other one, and I'll hold it up, and it's going to be kind of hard to see. I can get some of the glitter in there. So this next one is a sphere. This one sits beside my bed. This is blue sunstone or blue sandstone. So this is actually a man-made composite, but I wish y'all could see it a little better. My phone won't focus. You can still see the glitter. It's absolutely a fabulous stone. It's really, really beautiful. Let's see if I can show you guys. Oh, it looks better on Facebook than it does there. I don't really give a shit if it's a man-made stone or not, because it was made for a purpose. Goldstone too, yeah. It's called all three different things. Right. So you'll see it called all three different things. So there are multiple colors of it. This one is blue. Blue is a spiritual protectant and a guide. It does a few other things too, but that's the main thing I personally use it for. Is that spiritual protectant. I have a bracelet of it I wear during the day, especially, doing what we do. It's kind of a must-have. It also satisfies the 8-year-old who loves glitter in me. The next one I have here is blue apatite, and this is another one. It looks green on TikTok, but this is another one that I keep beside my side of the bed. This is one of my favorite stones. Blue apatite is attuned to the future. It's to help you when you're lucid dreaming. It's to help you when you're astral traveling. It's to help act as a tether to bring you back. So it does a lot more than that too. For me, it's super calming. I really, it's one of my absolute favorite stones. So I like the fact that it's calming as well. I love spheres, especially when I'm doing anything in my sleep, because these two especially, I can hold them in my hands when I sleep, or if nothing else, I'll put them by my sides, I'll put them under my pillow or whatever. But spheres are very calming. They're very easy to hold on to. So I totally recommend that. The other shape I recommend are towers. And I brought a couple of towers as well, 2 other stones that I highly recommend. So this one here, I cracked it. Don't judge me, but this one is rainbow fluorite. It's banded rainbow fluorite. We have some pieces in the shop that are phenomenal. Facebook isn't catching the colors very well. This one is blue, purple, and clear. So fluorite is an intelligent stone. It helps boost your mental abilities, your capabilities, and so on. It's great if y'all are studying, you have a test, whatever. You put it on your desk at work, so on. But a tower will radiate this throughout the room. So it's wonderful to have it there. The other one I brought is not so much for protection, but this one here is a cracked quartz. This one's actually a rainbow or a cracked quartz, but it's also in a tower. The reason I love cracked quartz, yes, it's heat treated. I personally don't care. I like the fact that it has the cracks in it. The cracks will act as a record keeper. So when you're traveling, when you're lucid dreaming, etc., having a tower of this in the room with you will help you. This will kind of program some of your safety precautions, etc., in it. You can also program this with your intentions. I saw somebody on TikTok said, intentions. Yes, totally intentions. You can program a cracked quartz by meditating with it and put your intentions for safety, for tethering you back to this world, etc. So those are the ones I highly recommend. There are a ton more. Don't get me wrong. Those are just my personal favorites, and they're easy to find anywhere.
And those are physical ways, physically outward ways of protecting yourself. Personally, my number one thing that I do as soon as I lay my head down in bed at night, is I surround myself with white light, protection, and I literally go overboard with it. And I literally cocoon myself in an egg, because the shells are super protective, and just surround and fill that space around me with white protective light that is just so thick you can just touch it, that it is tangible. And that's where I say nothing can permeate through this except for my deity, my guardian angels, my spirit guides, and anything that is of my higher good, for my higher good.
Right.
And if you want to go even further than that, then you say nothing can come through except for what I mentioned. No harm can come to me. I return. I can go and return when I choose, how I choose.
Right.
Just protect yourself. I use my own inner energy and strength as my first protection. And I do have stones, and I also have a couple of totems that I keep by my bed that are my tether, and that keeps me. I know when I want to go home, when I need to go back, when I need to wake up, I can concentrate on that, and I'm back.
Yeah. So I was going to say something, and it totally went right out of my brain. So I guess it wasn't that important. But the good thing about these protections is that you can use these for lucid dreaming and for astral travel. If you have a specific stone or a specific way that you protect yourself, do it. Like, use it. That's your specific thing. We're not saying that that these are the end all. This is all you can do. So don't think that. I saw somebody has a question on TikTok, and I'm going to write that down, and we'll get to that here in a little bit after we talk about these things. So hang on just a minute here. Because that's a really good question. So give me just a few minutes, and we'll totally answer that for you. So let's move on to astral travel real quick, because I want to get to starseeds and stuff like that before we start answering questions. With astral travel, this is something that I highly recommend y'all find someone that can teach you how to do this, okay? It's best to find someone that is a meditation guide that can help you get into that frame of mind to astral travel. However, you can do this on your own, but I want you guys to first of all be careful. I'm gonna in a minute give you a reason why, several reasons why. So the astral plane, the things that live there, the only way to really explain this is that they exist, but they don't exist, and they know it. And they know how to manipulate things, go back and forth, and they love it. Some people naturally astral travel and don't know they do it. Those of you guys that have any kind of brain injury, that have epilepsy, there's another one. Can't think. Anyway, those of you guys that have any kind of, people that have ADHD, people that have any kind of misfiring, wiring in their brain, etc.
Frontal lobe
yes, especially frontal, left temporal lobe. Those things right there will automatically, you can travel in your sleep and not realize you're doing it until something bad happens, okay?
Which is why you need to protect yourself at all times, even if you don't realize that it's happening. If you have those protections in place, if you surround yourself with white light and you've set your intention of what can come to you and what cannot, then the fact that you're traveling and not even realizing it, you are protected.
Yeah. So with astral travel, when you start learning, here's the reason I say to find somebody that, sorry, my son's texting me right there. I'm like trying to not cut off the TikTok camera there. When you astral travel, this is why I say to find somebody that can help guide you, because you want to start off small amounts. You want to start off slow because most of the things there don't give a shit about us. They really don't. They don't care. However, they start to care pretty quickly when they see that you're going in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. This is why a lot of people with epilepsy and that have brain damage have a lot of night terrors. They have a lot of sleep paralysis. They hate to go to sleep. They're afraid of the dark, like things like that. It's because when they see you're continually there, they start to wonder, why are you continually here and how are you getting here? So they take an interest in you. And
you're a free ride.
You're a free ride. Yeah. Because you don't know that you're doing it. So you're not protecting yourself and you're not paying attention what's coming back with you. When you learn how to astral travel correctly, you can pay attention to the things that are around you when you're coming back. You can pay attention to anything that might feel a little off. And you can get it off you before you come back. So I highly recommend finding somebody that can teach you how to do it. Don't just learn on TikTok. Don't just learn on Facebook. Don't just learn online. Read. Research the shit out of it.
There are guided meditations on YouTube or Spotify, Pandora, but you still have to have a knowledge of even where you're going and what protection you need. Or, I mean, some people are super smart and can figure out how to manipulate things, and it doesn't mean that you're safe.
Yeah, absolutely. So make sure you're paying attention. I just, and I'm going to have Pam pop in because she kind of got to be a part of this as well. So I have epilepsy. I had no idea that I was traveling for the longest time. I just knew that every Saturday night, I would have to sleep with almost all the lights on. Even at 40, 43, 44 years old, I had to sleep with all the lights on. I was terrified to go to bed. Like, I would do anything to not go to sleep on Saturday nights. I didn't even want to go in my room. It didn't matter if I was sleeping by myself or whatever. Could they wake you up from your sleep and talk to you? Yes. Yes, they can.
And a lot of times, though, you don't. It's just fear and terror and feeling like something's there. It's not something that's always tangible that you see, that you sense a spirit. Sometimes they're just there to wreak havoc.
Yeah.
Because that's what they do.
Yeah. So if you guys have never watched Monsters, Inc., and if you haven't, what's wrong with you? If you've never watched Monsters, Inc., and how they scare the kids and they take the screams and that's their fuel for their world. That's kind of how these things operate, okay? They operate differently for males and females, okay? If you have a very masculine personality, and I'm not saying specifically a male, if you have a very masculine personality, what they're going to do is these dreams, these terrors, etc., first are going to be they're going to be temptation, they're going to be sexual, they're going to be exciting because they're going to feed off of that. Then they're going to turn to anger. And you're going to be so angry in dreams that you will destroy things in dreams. You will destroy things in the astral plane, whatever, because they're feeding off that anger and that energy. For those of you guys that have a very female personality, a very female soul, they love terror. They love terror. They love to terrorize you. So they operate a little differently, okay? So I've talked to a lot of people that have had them piggyback on you. One of the main ways that you know you've had a pretty gnarly one piggyback is sleep paralysis. First, look for any reasons, and I'm gonna preempt all of what I'm gonna say. Look for any physical reasons first. Treat this like you're a ghost hunter. You're debunking everything first. Okay, all the physical. Are you on a new medication? Are you do you have brain issues? Because sometimes epilepsy can cause this. Yes, somebody asked about if you travel, if you have PTSD. Yes, you absolutely can and not know it. But look for physical reasons first, guys, okay? Truthfully, there's not a lot for sleep paralysis. There's really not a lot for sleep paralysis. 99% of the time, sleep paralysis is something in the astral realm. There is a gentleman by the name of Johnny Five who's written several books about sleep paralysis and the astral plane. I'll post his link on my Facebook and stuff. He's a friend of mine. A couple of his books are wonderful that they deal with astral travel and so on. Will help dealing with some of these things. So, sleep paralysis is one of the main ways you've got a gnarly one. Usually around bedtime, that fear, even as an adult, that fear will pop up. And this is not just like, I feel like something's going to grab me from under the bed. This is a legit fear. You feel things behind you. And this is, your heart starts beating like, this is an insane fight or flight response for you, okay? So one of the other ways that you know that you're traveling in your dreams is usually you don't remember your dreams at all. Nothing, not even a feeling, not a color, anything. And you wake up absolutely exhausted. Like your brain got hit by 4 Mack trucks. That's how it feels. Because you don't know you're doing it, so you're giving all your energy. When one of these things piggybacks on you and pings you, it will use sleep paralysis to hold you in place in bed and feed off of that terror. The one that I had in particular, he loved to move very, very slowly and build that terror. It took me a while to realize what was happening. It took me a while. It took me about 6 or 7 months to finally see the fucker all the way. And once he did, so I've been an artist for a long time, and Pam can attest to this. There's times when I'm doing energy work, when I'm dreaming or whatever, there's some things that I'm like, I have to draw this right now. I've even given Pam something to draw, and literally told her, I was like, take this and burn it. Like, this is what I pulled out of you. Go fucking burn it. So when I finally saw this thing, I was obsessed with drawing it the next day until I got it drawn. But it literally was chasing me. I realized I was dreaming, and it was chasing me through dreams. And I knew that if I could just get to a certain place, I would be safe. But even when I got to the place, it's almost like it gives you false hope. Like, you can get there and be safe. It's like a really bad horror movie. I'm not kidding. But in the end, the good person doesn't win. So it took a while for me to deal with this thing. I had to put myself together a jar, a psychic protection jar from beside my bed. Pam and I, she talked about totems. We have a totem, the same totem. She has one, I have one. Pam is kind of my tether here. I can call out to her if I need to. But it took a while to get rid of this thing. It took a lot of steps, and it took a lot of things. It took a pretty gnarly mushroom trip for me to finally eradicate this thing. I don't recommend doing that. I'm just saying, not the gnarly part of it. Like, I don't recommend that. But it was really, really bad. It was really, really bad. And it cost me a lot of sleep for a long time. So you don't want to have one of these things attached to you. If you do, if you feel like you've got one attached to you, or you're worried about it, feel free to message us. One of us will be happy to help you. Pam can help you with the dream aspect of it, and because they will make you have really nasty ass dreams, she can help you. Both of us are pretty good at pretty quickly realizing, okay, this is something from the astral plane. This is not just a nightmare or night terror or whatever. So that being said, find yourself someone that can train you to astral travel.
So do the protections before you even start this, and you won't be fearing, am I going to bring something back? If you know you've got yourself protected, then, literally say that I'm shielded, nothing can see me.
Yeah. I
go in cleanly, I leave cleanly, nothing piggybacks.
Yeah.
You just have to set your intention, and it is your body, and it is your astral body, and it is your soul that you're dealing with, and you get to say so.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So we can go, more in depth later on, or if you guys have questions, we'll answer questions here in a little bit, but we see everybody popping on. Hi guys. Aw, Dorothy, thank you. You're so sweet. Dorothy said, oh my gosh, your eyes look amazing. You're so sweet. So, who wants to talk about starseeds? Let's talk about fucking starseeds. This is a topic that's come up so much lately. Pam and I have some cheat sheets here. So, one of the classes we actually teach, let's talk about that real quick. Our mentorship program, and we talked about it a little bit last week. Pam and I run the Trillium Spiritual Center in Tulsa. And we do classes. They're year-long mentorship programs, give you the basis, the building blocks, and everything you need to learn and walk your own spiritual path. We give you a massive smorgasbord of everything, and you pick what resonates with you. But this not only gives you everything you need to walk your spiritual path, but if you are walking a witchcraft path, Wicca, whatever, and you decide you want to join a coven later on, this gives you your very first year and a day. And we are accredited by 3 different agencies, so you will get a certification. You'll have this, and you can present it to anybody, that you're looking to join a coven. And we're finding out from experience, you're probably going to know more than a lot of the people in said coven, unless you're joining a really, really old coven. But anyway, one of the classes that we teach in there is Starseeds. So we've had so many people ask about it lately. That's why I was like, it needs to be on our next podcast episode. So we're just going to kind of go through first and give you a few signs that you guys, you'll feel this really deeply in your gut when we're going through some of these, knowing if you're a starseed or not. Because most people are like, oh, I don't know, could I be or whatever. So the old way of thinking was that most of the starseeds came here in the 60s. Their children in the 70s were indigo children. The indigo children had crystal children. I do believe that, yes. I don't believe that starseeds only came at that time. Starseeds are souls that were not created here on Earth. They were created in a different galaxy, a galaxy far, far away. And we'll talk about that too, because there are a multitude of specific galaxies that most of them come from. But these are souls that choose to come to Earth. So Tasha, sorry, I'm interrupting myself here. Tasha asked, are these classes in person or online? I'm glad you said that. So we have a ton of in-person classes. However, on the 21st of July, we will be starting online classes. So we will make sure to talk about that more in our TikToks, our lives, and post it on Facebook and so on. So if you guys don't follow us on Facebook, make sure you do so. The Blue Bodhi and Dreamwalker, and I'll make sure to do a little, a video or something like that to post.
It's Trillium Spiritual Center as well.
Yes. So that's where you guys can find our calendars and events. It fell out of my brain for a minute, guys. The calendars, events, and so on. And then links to classes, etc. We also have a whole bunch of other classes coming up this month that are really, really badass that will be online. We have a shadow work class coming up. So if y'all haven't done your shadow work, you don't know how, just saying, we'll help you. So yeah. We'll get to, as I see the questions about communicating with spirits, we'll get to that here in a little bit after Starseeds, okay? So, yeah. So, let me see here. So, all right. Oh, good question. Why do dreams from my childhood come true 15 years later? My friend, that'd be because you're clairvoyant. So you need to be writing down all of your dreams, like literally writing them down. Oh, Smith, thank you for the roses. So yeah, there you go. So let's talk about starseeds. So I'm going to read, oh, wait, hang on. Okay, let me stop right here really quick. Because somebody said on TikTok, this guy with a black suit and a black hat keeps showing up and I'm scared. Okay, babe, this would be the Hat Man. I would advise reading about him online. He is a type of shadow person, and he's a pretty gnarly one, and he can cause some problems. So I would advise looking up the Hat Man online. You're gonna find a multitude of articles, web pages, videos, etc. about him in particular. So yeah, you definitely need to look him up. Okay. So, all right, let's see. Go down here. You are so welcome for answering your question. So that's what we're here for. Okay. So, Starseeds.
Let's do Starseeds, guys, and we'll talk about that, and you can still be posting your questions, and that way, once we get finished with this, we can answer all your questions, okay?
Yeah. So, I'm not going to read all of these. So, we're just going to kind of go back and forth. One of the main things is that you feel like you don't belong anywhere. This is even in your house. You've lived there for 30 years. You still feel like it's not your house. Even when you're with your best friends, you're with your family, you're with people that absolutely loved you. You know what I mean? You're just like, I don't belong here. I don't belong here. The next one to that is you always feel like you want to go home. Even when you're at home. You know this is not your home. And I'm putting quotation marks around this. It just doesn't ever feel right. It doesn't ever feel right. So those are the main two that really will hit you in the gut.
Just a longing of knowing that this is not really where you belong.
Right. So, I'm gonna let Pam read a few too. Another one is that a lot of people say, oh, you constantly gaze at the stars if you're a starseed. It's not that you gaze at the stars, it's that you're fucking obsessed with the stars. And chances are you have a favorite constellation for no reason, but it's your favorite. And when you look at this constellation, you feel safe, you feel warm, you feel happy. Like this is what guides you. And so when the earth is turned and that constellation is not out, you feel a little off kilter. You feel a little lost. So you love to see that favorite constellation, like you're drawn to things with it. You probably have a lot of psychic abilities. You probably are very intuitive. Mm-hmm. And when I say intuitive, thank you for all the roses, Sweet Pea. When I say intuitive, I mean it's like scary intuitive. Like, you know some shit and some stuff. And when you tell people, at first they're like, you crazy. And then they start to go, oh shit, they're not crazy. And then they start to ask you a lot of questions. Like, hey, I'm going on a trip. Like, should I be careful? You know, they start to ask you a whole bunch of stuff. Yep, somebody on here put Orion. Yep, Orion is my favorite constellation. When I look up in the sky and it's not there, I can feel the time of year when it's not there. It's my favorite. It's my favorite. And when I see the belt and I see the constellation itself, yeah, it makes me happy. It makes me happy. So, paranormal things are normal for you. They're normal for you. This is kind of what makes you happy. You could talk all fucking day about paranormal shit, about metaphysics, about things like the Bermuda Triangle. Yeah, those kind of things really whack you and they get you giddily excited. Angel numbers is another one. You have an angel number that follows your ass everywhere. And I mean everywhere.
Mystery illnesses. Mm-hmm. You go to the doctor and they cannot find out what's wrong with you. You have a myriad of problems. I, for one, have so many autoimmune disorders, it's not even funny. That's very umbrella when you have all of these symptoms and weird things that nothing can explain medically. They have no idea why you're exhausted all the time, why you just can't seem to get your body aligned and in order, and everything feels off. Mm-hmm. And so the doctors automatically just start thinking you're just off your rocker and you're not, you think you're sick. It's all in your mind, mm-hmm. Things of that nature. Let's see.
Yeah. So angel numbers, and somebody asked on TikTok what angel numbers were, and you can see a lot of people are posting their angel number here. Mine is 42, and I had somebody recently infect me, and I used that for a reason. They gave me the angel number 113, and now it literally follows me everywhere. These are things that these numbers pop up all the time. Like, you're going to look down and you're going to see, oh, every time you go to text a certain person, or every time you go to look at a certain thing on your phone, it's a certain time. You're going to see them in car tags. You're going to see them on signs. You'll catch them in movies. Like, you'll start to see, oh my God, did you see the number on that hotel room door? It's 555. It's 113 or whatever. We just lost Facebook. So hopefully we'll get Facebook back. Shit. If not, it is what it is. Hopefully it'll come back on. Anyway,
also, petty bullshit annoys you.
Mm-hmm.
You do not have time for all the petty crap that is going on. You don't want to be around it. You have no urge to be around it. You want to vacate quickly.
Yeah. Yeah. In fact, you will flat tune out. Most starseeds are very empathic. Oh, thank you, Angel Aura. And when I say very empathic, I don't mean just like, oh, my significant other is having a bad day and now I feel bad too. No. This is like, I can't go to Walmart. I can't go to weddings. I can't go. No, this is crippling. Like, it causes a severe social anxiety. So I am going to tell you guys, for those of y'all that are empathic, or those of you guys that are starseeds or think you are, don't go to buildings that are metal and concrete without protection. Seriously, it's gonna keep everything in there and amplify it, and you're gonna walk out drained, angry, and just completely not like yourself. Migraines. I see several people on here talking about migraines. Unexplained migraines are one thing it's another hallmark illness of starseeds. Your brain is trying so hard to A, process the things here that you don't understand, and B, all of this other shit is now piling on you. Oh, thank you, Angel, sweetheart. All of this other shit from the universe is piling on you. And so your brain is trying to coincide both of these, and it can't sometimes. So another thing is that this is kind of a give and a take, okay? Because I deal with a lot of past life readings. I deal with a lot of people on a daily basis that are old souls. And chances are most starseeds are usually told they're an old soul. However, I'm starting to see a trend with some that I would consider younger souls to Earth lately. I can tell pretty quickly how old someone's soul is when I read them, when I talk to them, when I touch them. There's a difference in an old soul and a new starseed soul. Your starseed soul can be old as fucking shit. But when you come here to Earth, you're giddy. You're like you're a toddler. You're learning everything. You're seeing all this new stuff for the first time. So you feel like an old soul, but at the same time, you're acting super young. Oh, thank you, Will. That was so sweet. So kind of to piggyback on that a little bit, you kind of have a problem with authority and rules. It's like you want to push the limits to see what you can get away with. And usually starseeds, if you tell a starseed, you can't do that, they're going to prove your ass wrong right now. They're going to prove you wrong right now, and they're going to do it. So yeah.
You have a problem with authority, yet you're more apt to follow the rules. The rules as they're constructed, but you have a problem with the higher authority figures.
Yeah.
You also have so many acquaintances. You know so many people, but you have very, very few close friends. It's very hard to let people get close to you and be close to them.
Thank you, Daphne. Yeah. It's very, very... When you find other people that are starseeds, you instantly get them. Mm-hmm. Y'all are instant friends. It's like your souls are kind of like high-fiving and you don't even know you're high-fiving. I see a lot of you going, oh my God, this is me. You're explaining me to a T. Exactly. So this is what happens when you start to find out about starseeds. Usually when we teach this class, we have a class of 10 people, we'll have half of them cry.
Thank you, Angel.
Oh, thank you, Angel. Yeah, we'll have half of them cry. And they're like, how the fuck did y'all write this about me? So that's what happens. You love holistic remedies. You're obsessed with them. You're that person that has an oil, an herb, a tea, something for that. You love it.
If you know that you have a greater purpose here than how you're living your life, you just cannot figure out what it is. You are not fully awakened. There are times when it's your time. When you come here, you've chosen to come here.
Yeah.
It was your choice from wherever it is you're from. It was your choice to come here, knowing full well that you will have no memory, no understanding of everything that you know, and you know you're probably way more technological, but you will awaken, and there's a set time.
Aw, thank you,
Certain
Nix.
things will awaken you when it is time. And when you do start awakening and you do start realizing all of this, that's when what your purpose here will be brought to light. And if it's to be service to others, technology, if you are brought here to help with technology that is way more advanced than anything, then once you awaken, you'll know your purpose. You just have to hang on. It's there.
Yeah. So here's another one, and I see some of you mentioning this already. Starseeds are their most happy, fulfilled, satisfied when they're helping other people.
Because that's why they come here.
Yeah. You basically come here to help other people, whether it's to help other people learn, to help them find their path, to be a guide, to heal them. We'll go over the types of starseeds in just a second, and y'all will quickly figure out which one you are, because I saw some people asking, how do I know which one I am? You are only happy when you're helping other people. So yeah, there's a few other things, like you've always been very spiritual. Even if you grew up Christian, if you grew up Muslim, whatever, you've always had a tie to the spiritual side of things. So it's where you're comfortable.
Somebody just put on here that it's exhausting.
It is exhausting.
It absolutely is exhausting.
It is exhausting. So let's talk about the type of starseeds. We kind of touched on indigo children and stuff like that. I'm not really going to go over those too much, just because I'm going to go over some of the different types of starseeds. One of the first ones we're going to talk about is the Pleiadians, and I'm probably murdering that name. Ah, looky there. Somebody even said it. Any Pleiadians here, just me. You, my friend. We're friends. So Pleiadians are very amazing people. Wow, why do I have that and then Syrians on here? That's so weird. Okay. So Pleiadians are loving. They're very strong souls. They have this need. And when I say need, it's an obsession to make other people happy. So the problem is you get taken advantage of a lot. Narcissistic people love you.
Energy vampires.
Yep. You want to help broken people. So energy vampires are happy to feed off of that. So for you guys, your heart chakra is usually the strongest one. You can take some shit, man. You can take some shit. You can soak up other people's stuff and really, really, it's almost like cleansing their heart chakra with yours. The problem is it makes you struggle with self-worth issues. You're always going to feel like you're not good enough because you're taking on everybody else's shit.
You have a hard time expressing yourself. Your throat chakra is usually your weakest.
Yeah. So for that, Angel Light is an amazing thing for you guys, for your throat chakra, to help you speak up. Appetite itself is good for self-worth issues. The Data Light is good for the heart chakra to help kind of strengthen it a little bit. And I'm going to murder this word, but green. Hewlandite. Thank you, Pam. Thank God. That one right there will keep you safe from psychic vampires. There's a lot of other ones. I always recommend Chaurite, like we talked about last week. Pam and I both wear it. It's literally armor for your aura. It will repair things, etc. So let's talk about Syrians. Syrians are the next one on my list. These guys, y'all are spiritual ambassadors. You help bring other people to their spiritual path.
Truth seekers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You want them to learn their truth. You want to learn your truth, etc. You also like the finer things in life. The star system itself is associated with wealth, good fortune, and power. But the cool thing is, most of the Syrians are also Atlanteans. You are super connected with water. You love mermaids. You love dolphins. You kind of have this natural affinity for Atlantis and for ancient Egypt. So these guys here, y'all literally wrote the book on metaphysicians, working in metaphysics, past lives, teaching this knowledge to others. A lot of Syrians are slapped with ADHD diagnoses when they're young, right away. Because you guys have pretty large brains. You have to have a lot of stimulation. You have a problem with just the normal 3D world because y'all live in 5, 6, 7, 10D. So you need a lot of things going on at once. They usually have an extremely small circle of friends. They know a lot of people.
And yes, you can be more than one.
Yes, you can. I am. It took me a while to realize that because I thought, no, I have to only be one. No, you can be more than one. It can be hard to get them to open up to you too. Syrians, or they can get anybody to open up to them, but it's hard for you to open up. Like you really, really, kind of keep that right there. For you Syrians, Larimar is an amazing stone for you because it really will connect you with the water. And it will It will connect you with the creatures that live in the water, etc. Clear quartz is another one for metaphysical work. I highly recommend cracked quartz. Record keepers, things like that. And lepidolite is an amazing one to help calm your nerves. I actually wear a bracelet of it. It's one of my bra rocks. Yeah. So, yeah, there are a few ones. Do you want to go over the Lyrians? I'm going to let Pam talk because I feel like I'm hogging all of the top talks.
Lyrians? I call them Lyrans. Lyrans, they're some of the oldest souls and said to have contributed knowledge to Lemuria and Atlantis. You are fearless. You are upfront. You embrace life, and you're very confident. They're pioneers and trendsetters, and maybe some sort of freedom fighter. You know what you want. You go for it. You fight for it. You're a wisdom keeper. You're drawn to the underdogs, and you always want to help them win. You have a strong affinity for birds and cats. Very highly energetic, and you tend to be a leader. You're also adventurous, and you want to learn from many different experiences. Not just, you're constant. You can go from one continent to another, just doing different things and learning. Crystals that help you: hematite to keep you grounded, natrolite will help you tap into wisdom, heliodor for leadership, and ruby because you're just so adventurous.
Yeah. And I will tell you real quick on here, because I saw some people that were talking about being multiple ones. For those of you guys that are starseeds that have a very, very old starseed soul, you can have times in your life where you shift between all of these different things. Because myself, I identify with several of these, not all of them, but several of them. And if you're not sure, have somebody that knows you really well and just ask them, like, hey, I'm curious about this. Like, which one of these do you feel describes me the best? I mean, and don't tell them. And if they're not operating in the spiritual realm, just be like, hey, I'm looking at this personality test. Like, here's the things. Which one is me? Ask them. Ask a few people. So yeah. The next one, let's talk about Orions. So Orions are here. Orions kind of tend to have a little bit of an ego. I'm sorry. I'm not going to lie, guys. We do. You're here to learn how to balance your ego and your spirituality. They radiate a very powerful masculine energy. They're not all masculine, but they radiate power. They radiate power. When you're around one, you can feel it. So people are either drawn to you or you're intimidating and they hate you. Like it's one or the other. There's no in between. They love you or they hate you. They also tend to be very unapologetic with their power. You like them or they don't really care. Like it doesn't matter.
And absolutely you can be an old soul from a different planet and this be your first incarnation on Earth.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. Sure. Orions also are perfectionists. They're very competitive. They want to learn everything possible right now. Like they want to do all the things right now. They want to learn it all. So they usually know a little bit about everything, and it can be annoying. I'm not gonna lie. Both for the people that know them and those of us that are. But they have a very deep compassion for the planet, for the people. As they get older, they tend to be activists, and as they get older, it tends to get stronger. But they are very, very sensitive, and they do get overwhelmed. They put it under this hard candy shell, but they get overwhelmed very easy. And when they get overwhelmed, they unplug and they go MIA. And then people are worried about them because they're like, dude, I haven't heard from you in like 4 days. Like, are you alive? Because they just need to pull everything back and recharge. So crystals for Orion. I'm going to go, the first one on my list I'm going to talk about last for a reason. Red jasper will help you recharge. Fluorite will help you learn. It will help you bring that mental clarity, etc. The reason I went this one last is because it's like a TikTok thing right now. Moldavite. Moldavite is for ascension. That's what Orions are here for, is ascension. Moldavite right now is very hard to find. It's very expensive because it blew up on TikTok. Oh, thank you, Daniel. I love the little monsters. That's so cute. But Moldavite is a wonderful thing and a horrible thing at the same time. Let's kind of sidetrack slightly and talk about Moldavite. I bought Pam and I matching Moldavite rings for Christmas before it blew up everywhere. Moldavite is not something to be just fucked around with, okay? You need to really read up on it, and you need to make sure you're ready for it, because it's going to take you and fucking punt your ass over a field goal, off the Grand Canyon, off the Niagara Falls. Like, yeah. You're fixing to fuck yourself up if you're not ready for it. It's something that shoves you at a rocket pace forward. This will have good, and it will have a lot of bad. You will lose a lot of people out of your life. You'll lose things out of your life. I know people that have gotten Moldavite because it was cool, and then next thing they know, their marriage of 24, 25 years is just poof, gone. Their kids are
job.
Gone. Yeah.
House gets foreclosed, and people just are like, get it the fuck away from me. Okay, so you've been wearing that Moldavite or carrying that Moldavite, and you decide, I'm putting it in the garage, I can't deal with this. Okay, well, you've already done what you needed to do, and it's doing what it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
What you think is the most horrible thing in your life at that moment is putting you on the path that you normally would have gotten to slowly and along the way, but this literally drop kicked you to where you're supposed to be. So things seem horrendous for some time.
Yeah.
But it's putting you where you're supposed to be on the path, doing what your soul's purpose is. It sounds horrible, but if you need things to go slow and pace and get to where you need to get so that you can get all your ducks in a row, do not get Moldavite. Do not wear Moldavite.
Right.
Do not be around
Somebody
it.
said don't give it as a gift unless somebody's prepared. So here's one thing. I did see, sorry. I just got called out, sorry. So I did see someone on here say my Moldavite ring has brought me nothing but good. And there are people, you may already be firmly on your path. And that's why all the good shit's coming your way. And man, congratulations, because that means you've done some shit. Hey, high five for another Capricorn that feels like an Orion. You've done some shit. You've been on your path. So yeah, it's drawing the good things in. There was another one. What was I going to say? Oh, how does it do what it does? So Moldavite is actually from a meteorite impact in Czechoslovakia. It only comes from there, period. So if somebody says they've got it from somewhere else, it's not real Moldavite. Real Moldavite also is very weird looking. Like it literally looks like baby shit that's been turned into glass. It's not a pretty stone. It's not. But this is the glass that was made in the dirt from this meteorite impact. So there's a finite amount of it. There's not an always, ever going well of it. So yeah, there are so many other stones, and somebody up here, I lost it already way back, and mentioned several other ones. There are so many other stones that can do what Moldavite does on a much easier path.
Gently.
Yeah.
It can slowly get you where you're supposed to be without literally making your head spin.
Yeah. Labradorite is the main one. I have a big brace of it. It's one of my all-time favorite stones. I could stare at it forever. So Labradorite is the first one I would recommend. Sorry, I had to burp, and I'm trying not to do it really loud on TikTok. So Labradorite is the one I would recommend. Purple brachiated jasper is the next one I would recommend. That's a little bit higher up there. And yeah, it's a little bit under Moldavite, but yeah. Shaman stones or Moki marbles, they're called the same thing. They are from the Grand Canyon. They're from one specific side of the Grand Canyon. They come in a pair. I wish I'd have brought mine here, or mine are in the bedroom. They come in sizes from pea size all the way up to softballs. They've gotten expensive lately because the Grand Canyon really tramped down on who can get them and who has permission. But highly recommend those. You meditate with them. They help you connect, and they'll shove you along your path very gently. So anyway, let's get back to Starseeds because it's after 10 and I want to get to questions. Malachite is up there. Yes. Mm-hmm. I want to get to some of these questions. I have been writing them down. You guys that are posting some questions, I have been writing them down. So don't think I'm ignoring y'all. So let's talk about Andromedans. These are one of the most rare types of starseeds. Andromedans usually are believed to be Sumerians or angels. They tend to be very nomadic. They have a hard time staying put. They have a very, very gypsy soul. Like they cannot stand to be tied down somewhere. And when they are, they're ready to go. Like they can't get settled anywhere.
They don't do commitments.
Yeah.
They just don't.
Yeah, they don't. They don't like to be tied down. They don't like to feel like they have to be somewhere. They're probably almost always late. But they do have an affinity for angels. They see angels. They talk to them. They talk to Sorry, I just had something hit me. They talk to deities a lot. They talk to other people's angels. They talk to other people's deities. Anything not from this world, they can talk to, like I'm talking to you on TikTok right now. They really, really fight for injustice. They are not about it. And if they will call you on some bullshit, they want everyone to be their authentic, real self. They will see right through you if you're putting on airs, if you're trying to, why do I feel like I'm going to cry all of a sudden? If you're trying to put out something you're not. They can see through your bullshit, and they will call you on it. So don't try to bullshit one. You can usually tell right away when you're around one. So let's talk about crystals for Andromedans. Smithsonite will help you kind of settle down a little bit. I'm going to murder this word. Purpurite. Purpurite. Thank you, Pam. Will help with that gypsy part of you, that desire for freedom. Herkimer diamonds are good for Andromedans. They'll help you stay in contact with the angels and with deities. Rutilated quartz, this is the quartz with gold in it, will help you fight injustice and help calm things down for you. I will say rutilated quartz is one that is very powerful. Quartz itself is an amplifier. Yes, I will totally repeat the names of starseeds again. I have Pam here to remind me. Rutilated quartz is extremely powerful. So before you just order one, I would advise going to a store and picking one up first. Even if you don't buy it and you don't connect with it, pick one up first. Here's why. They're not cheap. This is quartz with gold veins running through it, okay? But the power that's in them can be overwhelming for people. If you're not ready for it, if you're not an Andromedan, if you're not ready for it, it will give you almost instant headache. Like, it will give you an almost instant headache. So, yeah. And then, how do you say that word? Fulgurite for staying authentic, okay? I'll let Pam do the Arcturians.
Arcturians are here to create a better future by being a positive influence on spirituality, technology, and science.
Reticulated quartz. Sorry. Somebody said that quartz has been calling me and I haven't been able to figure out why. Reticulated. It's Rutilated. Or you can ask people for quartz with gold veins in them, but it's reticulated. So, yeah.
Arcturians are pioneers helping to usher in a new future with a focus on stability and sustainability. They have a natural affinity for sacred geometry and crystals. They know that there are lessons and information to be transmitted to them. They're logical thinkers. They tend to be great teachers and counselors, giving solid advice and always pointing out the details that a lot of other people miss. So crystals for Arcturians are ametrine, which is for the logic, chrysocolla for teaching, and blue chalcedony for counseling others.
So there are a few other starseeds out there. These are the main ones. So I was going to go through them again just because someone asked. So you've got, and this is not in the same order we talked about it. You've got the Sirians, you've got the Pleiadians, the Arcturians, the Andromedan, Orions, and then there's also, the indigo, crystal, and rainbow children. There are light workers. Light workers can be any variation of starseeds, or they can be a type of starseeds themselves. There's also Lemurians and Atlanteans. These are usually types of starseeds as well. And there's also the reptilians, and we're not going to fall down that rabbit hole tonight. But yeah, so those are those. There's a whole bunch more. Those are just the main ones that we cover in our class. So I wanted to make sure we covered those because I know some people will be like, some of those fit me, but not quite. Research, guys. Like, get online and look up types of starseeds. And if you find a couple that call to you, one or two or whatever, I highly advise researching them. That will help you tremendously. So, oh, you're welcome. Somebody said, much love, ladies. Lots of new info to research. Thank you for your time. You're very, very welcome. So now it's question time. I have a few questions I've written down. So we're gonna start talking about them. If you guys have questions, shoot them in the comments, and we'll answer to the best that we can. Neither one of us really claim to be experts on anything, and really, if anybody I mean, I know a lot about a lot of things,
But we
but
still learn
yeah,
every day. I think when we feel like we know it all, it's time to just hang it up.
yeah, yeah.
So,
Yeah. So somebody asked earlier, and I hope they're still here, about spirits in their house and how do we decide? Oh, that's a good question. Hang on. Let me answer this real quick. Somebody on here said, how can we decide if we can't physically touch them before buying? If you can't physically touch the stones before buying them, here's what I would recommend. I would recommend going to a local shop and picking up some of the ones there, even if you buy them on Amazon or whatever. The problem with Amazon is you have to be very careful. There's been times I've bought citrine and got selenite. Of course, there's also been times I thought I was buying citrine and I got golden selenite, and I was all about that because that shit's expensive. So go and physically touch them first at a store somewhere, and see which ones kind of connect with you or don't. And then buy them online. But
and if you don't have access, or you just really can't go into a metaphysical shop, or a shop that has a lot of crystals in it, you may just have to buy something small online. And make sure you're cleansing it as soon as you get it home. You don't want anyone else's energy and juju in that. So if you can't handle it, it may be something you have to gift to someone, or that you can just put on a windowsill, something along those lines, that you're fine with it being in your home, but you just can't physically hold it or keep it on you. You can work your way up. You can pick that thing up for 2 or 3 minutes a day, and you'll notice that your body's going to start adjusting to that slowly. That's how it was with the Moldavite. When I started wearing it, I was getting dizzy and sweaty and kind of nervous, and so I would only wear it for a little bit at a time. Now I can wear it all day long, and I don't have any issues. So.
Hey guys, on Facebook, I see people are popping in. We don't know if y'all can see us or not. Facebook says, sorry, we're having trouble playing this video. So we're just continuing to talk. It is what it is. So I'm sorry to hear, Diamond, that y'all don't have stores here. That makes me, or where you are, that makes me really, really sad. Where are you? Damn it. Does a stone ever pick you? Fuck yeah, they do. This little thing right here, this blue apatite sphere, I wish I could get a good picture of it here. I went into a shop and saw it and literally obsessed over this thing for a week until I could get back. And when I left, I was like, God, I should have bought it. And I was petrified that was going to be gone when I got back. And sure as shit, it was there. So I bought it. So yeah.
And it just solidifies the fact that it's yours if it's still there when you go back. And so a lot of people tell them, if it's here when I come back next time, then I know it's for me. If it's not, then I know it wasn't. So
yeah. Somebody asked if we do readings. We do. We do on Tuesday nights. I do a free card pull on here, but yeah, I do them. Both of us do them online. So feel free to message, and we'll yeah. So let's see. Why do I always feel like someone is touching my leg or arm on the left side and it gives me the chills? Probably, if it's giving you the chills, that's probably a spirit guide. Probably one that's a little playful and kind of likes to fuck around with you to get a reaction out of you.
You can talk to them just like we're having a conversation and say, that is not kosher, that is not cool, and I'm going to need you to stop.
Yeah.
They're there for you. They can just be being playful, but if you put your foot down and you say, no, we're not doing that, they can chill out on that.
Oh, cool. Thank you, Christine. She said on Facebook, we see you. So, yay, I'm glad you guys see us. I've just let it go. I'm like, okay, cool.
We don't even see ourselves on the screen at all, so we didn't realize that. Awesome.
So, let's see. We're getting Drive by Jesus again. So, there you go. Cool. And
we love Jesus. Come on.
So, oh, that's a good question. And I was just fixing to talk about it, actually. Do you believe in Jesus? I do. I've been baptized. I'm a minister. I perform weddings, funerals, last rites, all kinds of shit here in Oklahoma. I do. Is he my deity? No. Are we friends? Yes. And this is something I talked about last week, too. I don't believe that any religion has it wrong. I believe that I don't believe any religion has it completely correct either. So I don't believe in poo-pooing someone else's religion because it's not maybe the way I believe. And that's one of the things that I have a real bad problem with, that people that poo-poo other people's religions because they don't agree with it. If you're not continuing to learn about other things, doesn't mean you have to follow that path. Doesn't mean you have to like it. If you're not continuing to learn and objectively look at other things, you can't really consider yourself a very spiritual person.
That's true.
And that's my personal opinion. So yeah. But yes, I do believe in God. But I call it the universe. Let's just say that. Oh, Daphne, you were so sweet, babe. One of the classes that we teach in our year-long program is about religions. Dang, Daphne, you're so sweet. You're making me blush, Daphne. Stop making me blush. One of the things that I believe and the things that I teach is we go over about 30, I want to say it's 33 or 34 different religions. And the way we go over it is that we have a spreadsheet and it lays them all out very logically, very plain. And we go through and look. And when you start to see that there are religions that were on the opposite sides of the earth that developed about the same time, they never had contact with each other, yet their beliefs are 99% the same. They mirror each other. They may call it God over here and Allah over here and the universe over here, the great spirit. Like there's all the names for them. But when you see the hierarchy and how it all lines up, there's always a higher power. So that tells me that there is a higher power out there. Okay? You might call it God. I call it the universe. Somebody else might call it Allah. You know, so there's all the names for it. It's the same thing. That's the same thing in my opinion. So yeah. Let's see.
That's a good question.
If you're a foster kid and you don't know your family, how do you know who comes through for you? Are you talking about spirit guides? And I know we're way down here, so yeah. So let's see. How do you know who comes through for you? They will usually be pretty obvious about it.
They may not tell you, hey, I'm your Uncle Joe, or I'm your cousin Laverne, but you're going to start seeing similarities in what certain ancestral spiritual guides that you have when you're feeling really sad and lonely and tearful. You may feel that same energy that comes through to comfort you. Or when you're just so mad, you just want to break something and you sense a more masculine father-like energy coming through telling you, you know, you're all right, just calm down. You're going to start noticing a pattern and differences. Even if you have to write them down and say, I feel like this is a fatherly energy that's coming through for me, and they kind of talk me down off the ledge, or you know, this one is more feminine and very motherly and very loving. You're going to start learning they all have different personalities.
Exactly. And
when you can even start meditating and start trying to connect with those, and you know, they're not going to talk to you. They will with some people, but for the most part, they're not going to say, hey, I'm your Uncle Joe. You never knew me. But just learning to differentiate who feels a certain way when you feel a certain way, and who's comforting you and who's talking you down off the ledge. Sometimes that's all we get, and sometimes it's enough.
Okay, let's talk about communicating with a spirit in the house. What does it mean to be drawn to amethyst? It means you need protection. Means you need protection. So one cool thing about amethyst is that it will soak shit up. Oh, I wish I had my one from the shop here. I have one at the shop that I use when I do Reiki sessions. When I got this thing, it's about this big, about 2 or 3 inches for those of you guys that are listening or whatever can't see. It's about 3 inches. It's about 3 inches. It's just a big point. It's really cool. It's really rough. When I got it, it was a beautiful deep purple. Beautiful deep purple. Now I've used it for about 3 years now with Reiki sessions. Not only is it almost clear, It's still got purple, don't get me wrong, but it's a very, very light purple. It has so much blackness in it. It's insane. It's insane. Eventually it will break. Amethyst soaks up negativity, soaks up hits, etc. It will break. If you have a piece of amethyst that starts to do this, that breaks, thank it, bury it somewhere beautiful, give it back to the earth, because it's done its job. It's done its job. So yeah, let's see. Sorry, I'm writing questions. Yeah, I'm sorry. I know there are some trolls here, and I'm going through and blocking them right now. So I'm sorry about that. Do you think Britney Spears will be free? Nah, I don't know, man. Sorry. No.
It's not looking good.
Yeah. All right. Oh, thank you. Somebody said love my hair. Let's see here. Numerology. So that is not my forte. We will talk about it, but it's not my forte. I read palms and stuff, and I have to tell people all the time, oh man, this is your number, that's your number, and then they ask me what that number means, and you'd think by now I would know it, and I'm like, yeah, no, I don't know. So yeah. So that's how things happen. Do you want to talk about that one?
When
Daphne,
you say you
so
can't
sweet,
meditate, are you saying, Christine, that you have a difficult time meditating? Because there are a lot of different things that you can do. We have a student who has some problems with some hyperactivity, some sensory processing, and literally will put headphones on and do things like clean house, do things, put things in order, because that's what helps them to be able to shut, which is what meditation is. You're just literally shutting out everything, all the external things that are happening about you, around you, and you're able to connect with things that maybe aren't at the forefront of your thoughts, and you need to work those out, or you need to unpack some information that's, hidden within your psyche. There's a myriad of ways that someone can get the same effect of meditating. It can literally be listening to frequencies. If you need to block all the other sound out, get you some headphones that block everything out but that. And meditating doesn't always have to be completely shutting your mind completely off. Sometimes it's just the processing of being able to process one thing at a time without all the external BS that's going on. And you're going to get the same effect. People give up so quick when they start trying to meditate, because guys, it's not easy.
Yeah.
It's something you really have to work at. And I will never be at a level of someone who can tune out for hours at a time and not even realize that it feels like it's been a few minutes. You're not going to, some of you will, but most of us won't ever get to that place. Mm-hmm. We just have to find what works for us.
Yeah. So I'm going through TikTok right now and writing down questions. We've got like 99 messages, over 99 messages down here. But I do want to answer this one real quick. Daphne asked, medium question, is it normal for me to see and hear at the same time, but I only hear them with my voice? Yeah, that's completely normal. Because everybody who has mediumship abilities experiences this differently. With me, I usually hear them in my voice as well. Don't get me wrong, it's not all the time. And as your skills grow with your mediumship, you will start to hear their voices. And this will be very weird. One of the first times it happens, you're going to think, oh, fuck, now I'm hearing voices and I'm crazy. But you're not. You just, it's a shock. I'm not going to lie. It's a shock.
And I think sometimes it happens that way because it is such a shock. And things have to happen slowly. And once you get used to realizing what you're hearing are others' thoughts, mm-hmm. that when you do finally hear someone's personal voice, it's not so shocking. Not that it's not, because it is, but I think just kind of slowly the progression of that is basically so our psyche can handle that.
Exactly. Where are you ladies? So we are in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We have a shop in Owasso, and we also travel all over the place. So for example, the 16th through the 18th of this month, we'll be in Kansas City at Crypticon. If you guys live in Kansas City, you can't make it to Crypticon, but you would like to book an appointment, like to see us live or whatever, let us know. Like we're going to be there a day early. The weekend after that, we'll be in Oklahoma City. And I don't know where else I am this fall. I'm just trying to like kind of pop those on there a lot. So, okay, let me see. Oh, you're welcome for blocking the trolls. Yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry about that. I'm still trying to go down through there. So let's start with this spirit communication in your house. If you have a spirit in your house, and you really want to communicate with it. So, here's the thing. Hang on, I gotta mute somebody else. Sorry, guys. Here's the thing. If you have a spirit in your house and you're wanting to communicate with it, or maybe it's trying to communicate with you, there's a lot of different things you can do. Pendulums are a great thing. I would recommend getting one on a stand that the spirit can control. Smoke is another good thing. So burning incense, ask them, hey, make sure your air conditioner's not on, there's not a fan, etc. But it's very easy for them to manipulate smoke. So you can tell, have the incense burning and, hey, just start ask yes or no questions for the pendulum and smoke, etc. Yes, tell me what is yes, tell me what is no, etc. Yeah, so you can totally do that. So everybody's loving on you, Pam. So let's see here. All right, let's see here. How to tap into knowledge that you know but you've forgotten. I would advise that you start with Akashic record readings. In fact, you can find someone to do this for you, but if you're wanting to tap into some of this knowledge, you want to, sorry, I'm having to move messages that come up. You want words, can't fucking words sometimes, sorry. There are plenty of guided meditations on YouTube that are phenomenal. They will help you tap into these things. They will help you get things done, etc.
Tell them what Akashic records are, because someone's going to go, what is that?
Oh, okay. So Akashic records are the records of your entire soul. Not just this life, not just your last life, your whole soul. So those of you guys are just finding out your starseeds, or you think you might be starseeds, these are a great thing to have, okay? Some of you guys are asking about some different deities. I don't specifically work with those deities that you've mentioned. I have a few that I do work with, though. So let's see here. Portals. Do we know about or work with portals? I don't know much about them. It's not my forte. It is one of the things that I really want to learn about. I grew up in Colorado, and there are a few places up there that are said to have portals that, we went to visit and so on. And I will say that those of you guys that are starseeds, when you get around a portal, it will make you want to do one of two things. It will make you want to go jump in the fucking thing, or you will literally want to run away. You will get physically sick being around it. So it's very interesting. And both of those things can happen at different portals. Like one, you may be ready to jump into it and stay there forever. The other, you may go somewhere else and you may get physically ill and have to leave. So yeah. So let's see. My best friend had a stutter when he passed away, and now you have that stutter. I would say that's probably a trauma response. Yeah. This is I just hit my funny bone. Shit, fuck. This is a Pam question. What does it mean to dream of snakes? So, first of all, it depends on the type of snake.
Right. Or what the snake is doing.
Mm-hmm.
Or, if you're being bit, if it's chasing you, because my dream interpretations are intuitive. So I need more information to be able to figure out what it is. A lot of what's going on in your life at that time. I did a dream interpretation. today on someone who was having these dreams at 12 and 13.
Mm-hmm.
That's when this person was starting to be bullied. So things took a really dark turn, and hadn't even plugged that in. Hadn't even realized, yeah, that, that's when this started. And, it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Every dream has a meaning. We just have to be able to find it. Even the dreams that are so silly and so out there and you don't even know how to make sense of it, they all have a meaning. It's just that dreams come from another plane,
Mm-hmm.
from usually our spirit guides or our deities, or somebody is giving us a message, but they're so advanced. We're so elementary here
Mm-hmm.
that they have to put things into things that we can understand. And sometimes they don't make sense. Sometimes they're really silly. But that's for us to decipher once we get that message. That's why we want you guys to be writing things down. As soon as you wake up in the morning, write your dream down. You don't have to. A lot of people give up on that because they're like, oh, I can't, it's too much. You don't have to. I was walking down a dark road and I saw 3 dogs coming toward. You don't have to do that. Just put walking, dark, 3 dogs, ominous. Something that's going to trigger you when you go back later to try to decipher that dream. Things are going to just start kind of clicking into place, and you're going to remember. Mm-hmm. And you may even remember things that you had forgotten, when you were jotting things down. Mm-hmm. But again, anyone can Google what a snake means. Mm-hmm. A dream interpretation of what a snake means. That's the symbolism. But for someone to give you a dream interpretation, we need to know a little bit of backstory. We need to know what's happening in your life. What, it could be totally about a job, or it could be about a relationship. It really depends on what's going on with you.
Yeah. So I wanted to address a couple of things here real quick. Somebody asked about what is Crypticon. Crypticon, it's CRYPTICON. It is a huge horror convention. It's in Kansas City on the 16th through the 18th. I'm sure there's probably still tickets available. So, and someone mentioned about sending in a payment, not getting a reading yet. If you've done that and I haven't got your reading yet, I apologize. If you'll send me a message and tell me what name you sent it under, like remind me, because I do get swamped during the day. There's a lot of times I get an hour or 2 behind. So I apologize, and I will absolutely get to you, babe. Cause yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. There are times I do forget, and it takes me a little bit to get to them. But yeah, no, I absolutely. What stones are you wearing? Okay, well, So Pam and I both wear charoite all the time. Don't go anywhere without it. I actually have my shamanic pie stone on. Mine is blue serpentine. It's a little harder to find.
Mine's larkavite.
Yeah, Pam's is larkavite is black labradorite. So if you guys have not ever seen black labradorite, I highly recommend it. Oh my God, that's so cute. Whoever just sent the sunglasses, that was funny shit. My mala is 4 different stones. It's clear quartz. It is African turquoise. It's also black tourmaline and obsidian. So
mine's snowflake obsidian. Mm-hmm. And adventuring, smoky quartz, and black tourmaline together in here. My pie stone and my charoite.
Yeah. So, and then
moldavite.
We
all of these.
We both have so much shit on. So, yeah. Trust me, it'd take an hour to go through all of them. So, if you have the same dream over and over for years, babe, that right there is something you really need to be paying attention to.
That's a message that they're not going to stop until you get.
Mm-hmm. So what does it mean when you have dreams of your sister passing away? I've had 2 dreams like this.
If they're young, if you dream of someone very young dying,
ooh, that's a good one.
This is something that culturally, I'm half Cherokee. I was always told that if you dream of someone who's very young dying, that they will have a long life.
Mm-hmm.
So, dreaming of someone dying does not mean physical death. Always. It doesn't always mean that. It can mean maybe your relationship has changed, that some part of that relationship is changing and falling away and going to be reborn into, a whole nother thing that maybe you haven't talked for years or had a very close relationship. You dream that this person passes away. It could mean that there could be a rebirth, a death, a falling away of what's in the past. And it could be something new that is, going to come about. It doesn't have to mean a physical death.
So somebody asked about a walking in the dark, a dream about walking in the dark.
And again, intuitively speaking, you think of somebody walking in the dark. You could be in a really dark place in your life that is very difficult for you. You feel in the dark. You may need to learn something or know something, and you just don't know where to start. So you feel in the dark. So metaphorically, you're going to be in the dark. Does that make sense?
Question for Aunt Pam. I was told I can't use sage because I'm not native. This is a question that we deal with all the time. So here's the thing. Daphne, I love you, sweetheart. Here's the thing. Sage literally grows on every continent in the world, except Antarctica, obviously. There's so many different types of sage. It's not even funny. Sage itself, white sage in the wild, is endangered. The sage you find in stores is grown in farms. In fact, almost every metaphysical store I've ever been in carries almost the exact same types of bundled sage from the same place. They ethically gather it. They only gather about 30% of the plant, allow it to regenerate, etc. Most Native Americans don't care that I've talked to. And if you do, I apologize for saying that. But they don't care. It's just like I'm Celtic. I don't get mad when people celebrate St. Patrick's Day. Then St. Patrick really wasn't something nice to people that practice witchcraft. But still, one of the things also is people say you can't say the word smudging or whatever. Here's the deal with that. The word smudging actually is a white person term. This is something that was put on the Native Americans' practice of using sage to cleanse a space, to bring in good things, etc.
There are certain rituals that uses sage that are a closed practice. It's no different than any religion that has certain things that only a certain person can do. Only like a monk can do a certain ritual of some sort. I mean, the act of using sage, it's how you're using the sage. It's what ritual, it's what, how you're using it and what you're using it for. And only certain people can do certain rituals and smudgings or whatever you want to call it with that. And I agree. They say don't ever buy it. It's supposed to be gifted. Well, I'm sorry. I would never have access to it if I didn't buy it. So if you feel okay with it, ethically, it doesn't matter what anybody thinks. Then they don't need to come to your house if they don't like that you sage.
Yeah, that's the whole purpose of saging. But there are so many different types of sage too. So if you're worried about using white sage in particular or whatever, there's so many different types. Truthfully, one of my favorite types is desert sage. Desert sage, for those of y'all that have migraines and headaches, desert sage is really, really good for that. Another thing about sage is the sage plant in general is a natural antiseptic, natural antiviral. Oh, that's cute. Daphne, she just sent hearts and it went all over Pam's face. It's been a long day. But anyway, sage itself has antiviral and antibacterial properties. So at the shop, we burn it multiple times a day. We will go through the shop multiple times a day with it. And like, dude, I go over my house with it. Like, I don't get sick a lot. I have migraines, so, but yeah, those don't count. So CJ, wait, you're Celtic. Danu recently came to me in a video and was drawn to her. So yes, I'll let Aunt Pam talk about herself a little bit, and then I'll talk about myself or whatever. I'm half Irish. I'm actually descended from Irish travelers, which are Irish gypsies. No, the word doesn't bother me. I know some people, say you can't say that word, whatever. It really doesn't bother me. Like, I literally will use it as a threat sometimes. Like, don't make me gypsy you, whatever. I'm also got a Sean Connery accent. I'm also Scottish, Norse, and French. So I'm super white. So
I am Native American. I'm half Cherokee, and the other is Scottish, Irish, along those lines there.
Ooh, is it sometimes normal? Is it normal to be negatively affected by sage and holy water? I guess that depends what kind of negative effects you're having. If you're negatively affected by it, then I would say you probably have some shit you need to get rid of, babe. Oh, hi from New Zealand. Yay, that makes me so happy. Aw, I see all of you people that are finding us, and that makes me very, very happy. Who controls the answers of a pendulum in our opinion? I don't really use a pendulum. Like, I've never connected with them. I have like 4, and I've never connected with it.
I speak to my spirit guides.
Mm-hmm.
I talk to my dad, and he gives me yes or no. I have one that is specifically personally for me. I don't use it on anyone. I have a separate one that I use if I'm using it for someone else. I think it's who you want to come through and who you're asking. If you're asking your spirit guides, if you're asking a deity, if you're, it's your intention.
Mm-hmm. So, about wearing amethyst daily. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Is there sage for ADD? I don't know. Like,
I bet there is.
Probably.
I would bet there is.
I mean, like, at the shop, we literally, I want to say we have 8 types of sage. We have white, we have sage. We have white, we have desert, we have dragon's blood. Oh, we have several others. Some of them I can't pronounce. If you're worried about sage, if you are worried about burning it, cedar, Palo Santo, sandalwood.
As being Cherokee, sage was not a staple in my home. It was cedar. And so, cedar's what's sacred to me.
Yeah.
And I don't mind if you do that either. So.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and that's another thing. For those of y'all that follow a Celtic path, cedar is our holy wood. Cedar is a holy wood. Also, those of you guys that are Celtic or you follow a Celtic path, every single sign has a specific tree associated with it. That's your holy tree. But cedar is considered a holy wood, both in Norse and in Celtic practices. So someone said, hi, I'm new to your channel. Do you do readings at all? We do. We both do a crap ton of readings. So I probably need to post a little thing here about them or whatever. So will anyone be available in the store tomorrow for readings? Pam will. Usually we book up, so if you're ever unsure about it, just shoot us a message. But we try to make sure one of us is usually available. We are not in the shop on Mondays and Tuesdays. Sometimes we do take a day off. We usually still end up working though. But anyway. Why would a card reader say that I have a snake or a demon? Well, hopefully they were telling you the truth. Sometimes, unfortunately, there are some readers that will tell people bad things just to get them to come back, to get things cleansed off of them. So, yeah.
And it happens a lot online as well, so be very cautious with that. If they're telling you something that you've never heard before, that seems really odd, that only they can do for you, but they need to gather supplies, so they need money. Be very leery of that. Not saying that there aren't some people who are totally legit, but if they're telling you you're cursed or you're hexed, that's not a common thing. So that should not be the first thing that you're told.
Yeah. So Daphne asked a fucking amazing question. It makes me happy. This is something we actually spent a whole class talking about this week with one of our classes. She asked about what we think about what's going on with the veil right now. So here's the thing. Me personally, this is what I believe. Well, let's start with this. Most people in this realm believe that for the last few years, the veil has not reset itself like it's supposed to after Samhain, which is Halloween, Day of the Dead, etc. Usually that time is when the veil is super thin. That's why there's Day of the Dead right there. It's easy to communicate. Most of us believe the veil has not reset correctly. I personally believe that it's fading. In looking through, I've got to scroll down. We have so many things.
There are holes, there are tears, there are sections missing.
Yeah.
That things can come through, things can go back and forth.
Yeah. Okay, so let me start with this. So, I have an eyelash sticking in my eye. Everybody's familiar with the Mayan calendar issue in 2012. The world was going to end on December 21st, 2012. I don't believe that was interpreted correctly. I don't believe that the world was going to end. I believed that the sunglasses cracked me up, man. Thank you so much. I believe that was the Mayans warning us the veil is going to start fading. It's going to start faltering. Because if you look from 2012 on, every year around Halloween, Day of the Dead, things have gotten more difficult. If you kind of look back at some of the spiritual posts and stuff like that, I believe that that it's getting littler and littler and littler all the time. Most people that operate in the spiritual realm, that do what we do, etc., we know something massive is coming, but we can't pinpoint it. We just know it's bad. It's bad. There's so many people that are waking up. COVID was a wake up smack in the face for everyone. Doesn't believe what you think of COVID. When you think it's real, you don't think it's real. You think it was lab created and you think it was natural. Doesn't matter what you believe. It happened. Doesn't matter. It forced everybody to look at their own spirituality and their own mortality. I mean, smack you in the face. Look at it right now. So we've had a lot of people that come to us and, like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know where to start. Part of it is why we created the school we did. It's why our classes are exploding. Like, we're having to add new classes so much that's to the point where we almost don't have time to do readings. And I like doing readings. But yeah, it's not going back. It's not resetting. I really feel like it's fading. I feel like it's fading. Yeah. Girl, you and I are friends. Like, I got you. We should be friends. So I gotta like write down your thing so I can go follow you. So the best reading to start with. Several people asked, what's the best reading to start with? Hang on, let me write this down. Okay, so the best reading to start with. If you've never had a reading before, tarot, oracle, or anything, I recommend finding someone that you resonate with. Watch some people on TikTok, go to shops, listen to people read, listen to their voice, listen to how they talk, etc. Because you want to find someone that speaks your language. Whether it's me, whether it's Pam, whether it's someone else. You're not going to offend me by going to Pam. You're not going to offend either one of us by going somewhere else. We're the readers that are like, we want you to find your person. We want you to find your person. I also recommend having a tarot and an oracle card reading. Have both. See which one resonates with you better. I know people that are just like, oh no, I only do tarot. And some people are like, oh, I only do oracle. If you ever get a full reading from me, I read very differently. I have a legit problem with buying decks of cards, Pam can tell. But I read with anywhere from 5 to 10 decks at a time. I take up the whole table. So my readings take 30 to 45 minutes, sometimes longer. Pam has learned how to read with multiple decks, and her readings take that long as well. So if you ever get a reading from either one of us, I always joke with people that if we're the first people to give you a reading, we're going to break you, because we read with so many decks and we read so differently. So, yeah, so I would recommend starting with just a regular card reading. Don't go in with any preconceived notions. Don't go in with like, I have to know the answer to this question right now, because chances are the cards are going to be like, guess what? I'm going to tell you this. So go in with the mindset that, what do I need to know right now? And you're going to get a massive amount of information. So for Pam and I both, a full card reading is $35. We can do them through Zoom, or in person or whatever. So yeah. So spirit guides, how do you know them? And I had somebody else ask about, do you know them, etc. So in my experience, change within it. That's a good question. Let me pull this down so I can answer it in just a second. So with spirit guides, in my personal experience, everyone has a certain number of spirit guides that is assigned to them at birth. You have them till you die. I've seen anywhere from 2 to 7, 7 being the most that people are assigned with. Now, as you go through life and as people around you pass away, some of them will become spirit guides for you. Not all of them, some of them. Some of them will just visit every now and then, but some of them will be spirit guides because they're part of your soul tribe and they're tied to you. So yeah. Let's see. If you're chosen for a specific path, how do you know? You keep getting shoved on that fucking path. Like, you try to run this way, you're like, no, I am not a light worker. I am not an energy worker. I'm over here. I'm going to be a welder. And every job you have, you get fired from. You keep getting drawn back to one store. You keep getting drawn back to one place. Like, the universe is more stubborn than you are, I promise.
And it has way more resources.
And more patience. Do you believe there's a possibility with every reading? Oh, do you believe with every reading there's a possibility of change within it?
Oh.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Readings are not set in stone. Readings are there as a way for you to kind of sneak peek at what's coming your way. So, if you kind of know it's coming, A, you can prepare, B, you can shift, you can change, etc. Thank you. Happy 4th of July to y'all. Oh, that's interesting. Indigenous of New Zealand, we use water for cleansing, but definitely love using sage. So I use holy water as well. Not so much for cleansing, but for warding and protecting a space, a property. So I'm gonna have to research on that. That's really, really interesting. So if you guys want to book a reading, if you go on Facebook, it's the Blue Bodhi, and you can book a reading there. And then we will link Aunt Pam's. I think I can link it here somewhere, so you guys can book a reading with her. How do you know who your spirit guides are? Well, I would highly advise getting a spirit guide reading. I do them. A lot of people do them. I do them if you ever see us in person or whatever, and you're able to get an aura drawing. It includes your spirit guides and so on, or you can do a reading for them. So here's the thing with the different types of spirit guides. The ones that were assigned to you usually are not going to give you a name. Sometimes they will, don't get me wrong. Some of them have pretty good egos and they want you to know this is what I want to be called. But they usually will not give you a name. They will give you more, this is what I'm doing for you. If you get a full reading on one, you can get an overview of their soul, some of the things of why they were assigned to you, what lessons they have to teach you, and maybe what it is they need to learn from you. The ones that knew you in life, they will usually give you some information that will poke you really hard, and you will know immediately that that's them. So
like you smell your grandmother's rose perfume, just out of the blue, out of nowhere. I mean, that's a good indicator for you. Or your Uncle Joe liked a certain type of cigar, and you are smelling that. So those are good indicators for you. And they'll let you know. They will let you know if you need to know.
Yeah. Born with gifts, what do you think? Ooh, sorry, don't be yawning, guys. Sorry. Oh, those are cute little doves. Everybody is born with gifts. every single person. One of the things that I really love about so many people going through a spiritual awakening right now, oh, those are cute, is that a lot of the people that are younger, if they have kids or they're about to have kids or they, have babies, they're not quashing those gifts. Back in the day, a long time ago, I mean, it really started to get better in the 60s and stuff, but still it was pretty rough until probably the early 2000s. Most parents would quash when a kid would start, they're talking to grandma and grandma's been dead for 10 years. Like they never met grandma. Or they remember their past lives. Or they make prophetic statements, things like that. And they would tell a kid, oh my God, don't you talk about, like, that's weird. That's a dream. They just poo-poo it. Because as we get older and hit puberty, our brains naturally kind of they shut those gifts off if we're already shutting them off. Otherwise, they will blossom and explode. So if you guys have kids that are doing these things, saying these things, encourage them. They're not crazy. They're not weird. They're fucking talented. And they have a gift. And you should be thrilled that you have a kid that has
and we have a kids program. So we encourage that. We want as young as possible, just to not make them feel like it's not valid. We want them to know we fully, don't get us wrong. We've had some kids come in that talk about things that, I'm a psych nurse, so you pretty much can know when a kid's just kind of telling a story. But, when it's legit and you just want to foster that and you want to help it grow, and it's amazing to watch. It really is.
Yeah. Are spirit guides different than guardian angels? Absolutely. One of these days, and one of these things, I'll bring a couple aura drawings I've done and show you guys. Because when I do them, I specifically show you where they are. So there's some that sit there. They don't really give you a male, female. They don't give you much. I usually draw them with a plus or a minus because they come in pairs. So 2s, 4s. I usually draw them with a plus and a minus. They're like a yin and a yang. These are ones that are there to take your place if something happens that's going to remove you from this life. They're kind of sacrifices. They help make sure that you stay physically safe because you have a purpose here. So there are times that I will see people that are missing some, and that immediately tells me that they've either had a really bad accident, they've gotten really sick, their mom had a very hard time and they almost lost the baby. Like I can pretty much pinpoint those things.
They were on the front lines in a war.
So let's see here. You guys sending gifts are so... the sunglasses
that
is cracking me up. That's so funny. My energy showing itself. Is that like astral projection or just energy? That's just energy. A lot of people can see energy. That's one of the first steps in starting to see an aura. So if you're starting to see that, the sunglasses. For those of you guys listening on the podcast or on Facebook, we have people on TikTok they're sending a gift that's sunglasses, and it puts these crazy ass sunglasses on Pam and I, and it's really funny. So that's just energy. Astral projection is completely different.
Right.
What's the best time to book if we're in different time zone? I'm in Australia. So,
we can work that out.
Yeah, I've worked with people all over the world for decades, and I have insomnia. So I'm happy to work with you. Yeah, Pam too. So just shoot us a message, and we'll coincide a good time for you, basically, because we kind of make our own hours.
Right.
So we'll get a good time for you. If y'all are in a different country and you want to get a reading from one of us, just shoot us a direct message, and we'll get it worked out. So yeah. How can I tell if I even have spirit guides? Oh, babe, you have some.
You do.
Yeah, everybody does. I have done thousands of aura drawings, and I have never come across anybody that does not have spirit guides. So yeah, you good.
And some of them that can change your personality, make you make decisions that aren't the best decisions in the world for you. So spirit guides sometimes can have their own agenda.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And,
they can. They can be dicks. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. That's awesome. I love this. How I encourage my daughter. I keep moving the camera shit. And she's drawn to crystals and talks to other people's guides. That's awesome. I'm so glad to hear that you encourage your kiddo.
Love that.
How can we tell if we have gifts? Let me just say this. I believe every single person has
Everyone.
gifts. Some people choose to ignore them.
Yes.
Some people use them to their advantage and they don't even realize they do it.
And
So,
some people ignore them not out of anything other than fear.
Mm-hmm.
And you just don't fear. Just,
The sunglasses.
foster that in your children. Know it in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're given certain gifts for a reason. I'm a healer. There's no way out of that. I've been a healer in many, many, many past lives. And so it just stands to reason that I do the easiest thing that my soul knows how to do.
Yeah.
And I couldn't imagine doing anything else. You'll know what resonates with you. Things that are coming up, you can ignore them. You can ignore them for a while, and they're going to show themselves in a very hard way if you don't pay attention.
Yeah. So Daphne asked a question. Do you have a kids program? We do. If you're close enough to be in person, we have a kids class on Sundays from 1 to 2. We are about to implement an online program. I have not got a date for the kids class yet. It will probably start in August, but I'm not sure what day. We're trying to work that out. We do have an online class starting on the 21st. If your kid's 15 and having you for a mom with some of the awesome questions you've asked, I would totally feel confident with your 15-year-old being in an online class. So yeah. So la la la.
Send a message to the Blue Bodie, and we'll talk to you about it.
Okay, so let me go down here. So we're not going to, yes, you can totally ask for a specific guide to come through. If you're talking about like a specific person that's passed away, I would start with asking them to communicate with you. Say when you're going to sleep, you can say, hey, I'm going to leave myself open for, Nana to come through and talk to me, but set very clear parameters on this. I will only talk to Nana. I will only talk to someone that's in my highest good. I won't talk to anything negative. Like set very, very clear box boundaries on
Now,
this.
you can't make someone be
Yeah.
a spirit guide for you. If your grandmother was your best friend and she passes away, you can't will her to be your spirit guide. There's kind of some guidelines that have to happen from the other side for that to happen. But they can visit. They'll be popping in and out of your life, checking on you, and you can communicate with them. But they may not specifically be a spirit guide for you.
Right. How do you go about building your gifts? Once you kind of learn which gifts you have, or even if ones you think you might have, start working on it. Start using it. So say you feel like you're drawn to pendulums. Start using a pendulum every day. If you are drawn to cards, start drawing cards every day. Like things like that. Start using it consciously, and it will start growing and boosting. Dreaming of someone dying. I agree with what you're saying, Pam. I've had prophetic dreams of people dying, and it did foreshadow a physical death.
Yeah, especially if you have that gift, absolutely, you're gonna know.
Ooh.
If you're dreaming of someone who's passing away, and it happens on the regular, then yeah, you can pretty much say. But the average everyday person dreaming of them dying, it doesn't have to mean a physical death.
So this is an amazing question, and I know we've got a ton of questions going on down here, guys, and we've been talking for over 2 hours now, so we may not stay on too much longer, but you guys are asking fabulous fucking questions tonight, and it's making me like super happy. This is an amazing question. When do things become spiritually unsafe for those that are sensitive spiritually? Trust your gut. Trust your gut. If you walk into a place, you walk into your house, you walk into a store, restaurant, whatever, and your gut screams that you get the fuck out, get the fuck out. Like, seriously. If you feel suddenly you need to protect yourself, do so. Like, really, really trust your intuition and trust your gut, because that right there will be your barometer on how safe things are. It will be your guide.
And the more you listen to it, the more you start sensing, and you don't start discounting everything like we always do. We all do it. Because I could love to sit here and say, oh, I listen to my gut all day, every day. No, there's at least a couple of times a day I think, oh my God, if I would have just said that or done that. You know, I knew what the answer was to that. I knew what I should have done, and I didn't do it. So once it just gets easier to know that feeling of, okay, this doesn't feel safe. Then listen to that.
Yeah. So for those of you guys asking about appointments, if you go to the Blue Bodhi on Facebook, you can book an appointment for both of us, and I will make sure on Facebook, because we've got live going on Facebook too, I will make sure that I link Pam's page as well. I think we need to make sure her Facebook appointments is working. Mine is kind of jacking up a little bit. It's being a little wonky and pissing me off. But or you can message me here or on Facebook, and we'll get you set up with either one of us. The podcast, it is Spirituality 101, and if you go on the Blue Bodhi on Facebook, I've got a link to our first one on there if you all missed last week's podcast, and so I'll post every one of them on there. Ooh, can we also find our own life's purpose? Yep, Akashic record readings. This will help set you on the right path. Aw, well, we're so happy that you stayed so long, and let's see, I use a pendulum, and I think it is my spirit guides. I have wondered if it is my higher self. It could absolutely be your higher self talking to you. So
absolutely.
I was told in a past life I come from Egypt. Yep, you absolutely could. You absolutely could. I did a couple today, and one of them was from Egypt. So yeah.
If you're drawn to something and you've never visited there, a certain era, certain things, more than likely it is tied to a past life.
So we have so many questions waiting, and I feel so bad we're not getting to them. So what about the ages of 5 and 6 and help them grow their gifts? I would say to let them explore. If they have questions, answer them, find out, etc. So I'm going to scroll past some of these guys because, sorry.
If they're doing things that are frightening to you and to them, just make sure that you're protecting them.
Yeah.
You can do the white light. The white light of protection around you doesn't have to be just you.
Yeah.
You can learn to put it around your family. You can learn to spread that out and put it around your room, around your home, literally around your property. You can just work your way up to that.
Yeah. So for those of you guys that don't have Facebook, every Tuesday night I do live oracle card readings at 8. You can also go on my profile and hit the little bell up at the top and get notifications when we go live. And every Friday night at 9 we do our podcast. We always do this on Facebook and I'm so tired, and TikTok at the same time, and then record it for a podcast. But every Friday night at 9 is when we do that. So we have 3 topics we'll talk about, and then we answer questions for about an hour or so. So yeah.
So is there any way maybe we could can they message you on here on TikTok?
So also, if you guys don't have Facebook and you want to book a reading, you can message here on TikTok as well, and we'll get you booked. So I do apologize. I have forgotten to go through my direct messages here on TikTok for a couple of days, and I will absolutely go through it and message you guys back. And so I just be a little patient. Truthfully, most of these messages are going to get caught up over the 4th of July. We are actually taking off work on the 4th of July. Don't tell anybody. We will probably still work.
Not. We're gonna get together and work, even though we're not.
That's what I was saying. Like, we're probably still gonna fucking work. Anyway, so yeah. So with that being said, it's 11:15, and I know we have so many. Man, it's so exciting to see so many of you guys still watching. we're gonna go because I'm hungry and we gotta be at work early in the morning. Well, I say early, 10:30, 11. That's early, right? That's early.
It's early when you've been up late.
Yeah. So.
And you're old like me.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we're workaholics. We're both Capricorns.
We're always gonna have specific things that we go over on Friday night at 9. We're gonna, the first hour, we're gonna try to target some specific things to give some information about. But the last part of that, we're gonna do our very best to answer as many questions as we can.
Aw. It's nice to meet you too, Daphne. And
Daphne's been a doll.
I'm gonna find you and follow you and stuff. And crystal skulls, thank you. Diamonds and skulls. Diamond skulls.
Capricorn.
Ooh, diamond skulls. I want a diamond skull. I may have one. Mine's pretty fucking hard. So I'm totally. Thank you for all the roses. I'm totally gonna follow you guys too. So yeah, we try to take time off, but God, it just.
I've got TikTok. It's Dreamwalker. We'll eventually start, getting stuff morphed over there too. As well.
Oh, well, it's nice to meet you, Miss Ashley. So yeah, we are gonna go. I'm writing down a few things here just to make sure that I get these correct. Sorry, I'm writing as I'm talking. I'm like, what? I can't.
You guys be safe and have a good 4th of July.
Yeah.
Enjoy your independence.
Yep, absolutely. So we're gonna go for the evening. Make sure you follow me here on TikTok, the Blue Boat. You follow Pam at Dreamwalker. And if you can't find either one of us, or say you lose the live, or you can't find Pam or whatever, if you go to the Blue Boaty on Facebook, I will link her TikTok and her Facebook, and you guys can follow us both. So make sure you tag the little bell up there on my profile so you know when we go live, and we'll see you Tuesday and then next Friday. Yeah.
Bye guys.
Bye guys.